Let's go. Good morning, my friends. It's your old pal PeaceLoveMusic with another episode of the Good Morning Stack Show, brought to you live by DeOrganized Media in partnership with our good friends over at BitcoinLive, Decentralized Broadcasting. It is Friday, the 31st of January. We've gotten through the first month, or almost through the first month of the year. Things are looking good for crypto. It's been a good week and a strong month. Although January is not always great for Bitcoin. Coming in okay this morning. Again, friendly advice. This is news and information only, not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Always do your own research. Never invest money you cannot afford to lose. With that being said, Bitcoin holding on at 105,378 as of just a little while before broadcast. Actually, I think that number's wrong. I thought it was in 104 something. But Stacks definitely came in at 136, up from yesterday at 127, moving up to 55th place by market cap on CoinMarketCap. Fear and Greed Index remains unchanged at 54, holding on to the neutral range. And the top three gainers on CoinMarketCap for the past 24 hours are Jasmy, Dexy, and LidoDAO LDO token. And in the Stacks DeFi space, Hermetica yield on USDH at 29%, with $4.5 million in total value locked on Hermetica. Have you checked out BitFlow's automated buying feature? Set it, forget it, and go touch grass with your Keepers contracts, handling your trades and balancing your portfolio. A new token IDO on Alex, RuneMine, Mine token, launching on Alex February 3rd, creating infrastructure. That's just Monday, creating infrastructure for meme coins. Velar perp trading coming soon. return to Ape. Also, don't miss the guide to launching self-deployed liquidity pools on Velar now. Zest offering this morning 7.29% yield on SBTC, and their highest yield today is 98.26% on USDA dollar stablecoin. Today's rates at Stacking DAO 8.37% on Liquid STX, or receive yield on native BTC at 8.04% and now 7.37% on yields with SBTC. You can earn an SBTC now on Stacking DAO. And the top 3 tokens performers on Velar the past 24 hours are Rocket, Flat Earth, and Nothing. Wrap Nothing, not token. Friends, when you stack your stacks, you earn yield in Bitcoin. Tell your friends. Hashtag return to ape. What does that mean? Which US-based crypto are you most bullish on? Tell us in the comments below. The organized calendar for Friday, and we're still coordinating some of this with Hero, so bear with us. As always, we have our show Monday through Friday at 8:30 to bring you all of the news. Weekly SIP call is coming on at 11 a.m. I believe Landy has a show at 1. There's a show at 2. There might be 2 shows at 2. I know the Stacks Africa group meets at 2 o'clock Eastern time, and then I believe Stacks Nigeria is doing a 3 p.m. call, and there is always every Friday Purple Pill Friday at 5 p.m. with Dan and Brad. Great time, great group. Check them out, and it's a great way to kind of recap the week in Stacks on the Purple Pill Friday. On to the news. There was $23 billion AUM Canadian asset management company Purpose Investments submits preliminary prospectus for a Ripple spot ETF in Canada. Friend of the show, Mike Jagday, will be excited about that. Vitalik Buterin reveals less than 10% of his crypto holdings are in Bitcoin, posting on X, I'm under 10% BTC, but then again, I'm under 10% anything that's not ETH. Bitcoin retail investors sent $625 million to Binance in January, while whales held off on major selling as the market heats up. Circle has minted another $250 million worth of USDC on Solana, pushing this month's total to $5.75 billion. That's $5.75 billion in USDC minted by Circle on Solana in January. The Arkansas Senate has rejected a bill that would have banned crypto mining facilities within 30 miles of military sites. I don't understand what the goal of such a bill would be. Why would you want to ban mining? I don't know if it's a electrical resources security type of thing or what. Doesn't make sense. So I'm glad they rejected that. Cynthia Lummis says having Bitcoin in reserve can help the US dollar remain strong. That's a fact. The current Bitcoin cycle is tracking similarly to 2015 to 2018, which saw nearly 2,000% returns from cycle low, according to Coinbase's latest report. That would be a 20x from a little over 15K. If this cycle matched that, although the law of diminishing returns suggests 300K Bitcoin this cycle is probably a little bit of a stretch, but you never know. We're only about 24 months into the cycle, so still very early. Asset manager strategist head of ETFs Todd Sohn says, I think the interesting thing will be you have Bitcoin. This is a quote. You have Bitcoin is to crypto as the QQQ to the technology type stocks, and I think that's always how it's going to be. I'm not sure he actually understands, based on that quote. ETF flows around 5,670 BTC and 21,780 Ethereum were bought on January 30th. BTC ETF saw $588.1 million in net inflows. ETH saw $67.8 billion in net inflows. BlackRock's IBIT bought 3,100 Bitcoin worth $321.5 million on January 30th. Do you have a .BTC name? You can get one now over at BNS.one. They've announced a number of platform enhancements for user interface, listing marketplace enhancements, and more. head on over to bns.one to get your own .btc, .stx, or other BNS digital ID, and more functionality in the ecosystem is being looked at for that. So as we develop the app layer, that'll become more useful, we expect. Have you checked out Zero Authority bounties lately? There are currently a couple of bounties active right now. Head over to zeroauthority.xyz, go to bounties, follow the directions to participate, and possibly earn some STX and or SBTC just for participating and helping out projects in the ecosystem. You can earn Zero Authority. By now, you've all heard what's going on over at AIBTC.dev and their process for launching AI DAOs. All you have to do is post on X at prompt2DAO. Tell it the details of the DAO you want to initiate, and it does it all for you with AI agents running your AI DAO. New enhancements are being added regularly. Token trading is now live on fact.fun. It's a really cool development, and actually, someone at AIBTC Dev actually prompted a DAO to support DeOrganized media, which was really cool. And then yesterday, I'm not sure because I didn't get a chance to see it all. I was offline at the time, but I guess it got out of bonding curve and is now listed on Bitflow. The DEO media DAO token is live, and really kind of surprised and a little bit touched that the community showed support for our project like that. Have you checked out fact.fun? There are several new tokens currently in the bonding curve there now. You can get to the yams. There's Rent, Dr. Wappy's token, bunch of stuff on there. Go check them out. Congratulations to Reese on his mint out of his machines over at Gary's Gated.so. If you have not, get over to Gated, set up an account. It costs you 1 stacks to be early and support a brand new project. If you're looking to get started as a developer in Stacks, head over to stacks.co/build/get-started, or it's just right over at the top. It's really easy to find. It says Get Started. It's a drop down. Get Started. It brings you to a page where it goes through a bunch of tools for developers. You can learn the basics, get access to all the developer tools. It'll walk you through building a full app and even show you ways to get paid to build. So head on over to stacks.co if you're looking to get started. And if you're interested in helping builders on Stacks test out their projects, DM me. We have a small but mighty QA tester group. We're always looking for more testers and devs that are looking for testing. DM me on X, PeaceLoveMusic G, and we'll get you in that group, and or we'll get you set up with some testers to come poke around on your project. Also, again, the Sip and Innovation Community Call is every Friday at 11 a.m. We're looking for as much participation as possible. If you have ideas or you're just interested in learning about what's developing on Stacks, the 11 a.m. Sip Call with the Stacks.org, Stacks Foundation account, and Hero Gamer is a great way to get started. And we're looking at incorporating AI into the SIP development process now. We're really excited about that. And that is the news for the day. We have some great guests on. As always, we have Legend of Stacks Legends, Jack Binswitch in the house, and very special guest, Visions, Peter from Velar. Super excited to have you on with us today, bro. And then our my regular co-host, GPSC, needs a little more coffee this morning, it looks like. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, my alarm did it. I feel like you boys, obviously it's nice and early for you, whereas it's nice and like getting late to me. I've had like a little power nap, you know, I had like a nice little 20-minute siesta, got myself a nice English breakfast tea to join you Americans in your morning. But no, always good to see you boys, always good to chat.
Yeah, I get these guys out of bed early a little earlier than normal, but I'm an old guy, so a little older than Jack, even, if you can believe it. You know, my beard's not quite as gray, but it's still gray. But I'm at the age where I wake up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. no matter what I do. It doesn't matter. It sucks, and it'll happen to you too, man.
If you ever looked at your grandparents when you were young and been like, why did they eat dinner at like 4 o'clock?
Yes.
It's because they're like in bed by like 7:30 and then they're up at like 4 a.m.
Honestly, it's so in the UK, I was up really early and kind of finished really early as well. But here it's the other way around. I think because we got obviously to get on America time and get on like European time, we've got to be up later, right? So I kind of like get up a bit later, get the gym out of the way, have some breakfast, and then start at like 11, like GST, like Dubai time. But then you're working till like 9 p.m. anyway because you've got like a random call with America. So it's good fun, but because it's warm all the time, the day just flies and the night flies. Like you can be outside, like just chilling with the boys, blink, and it's like midnight, and you wouldn't even know because it doesn't get cold. So it's really nice.
Yeah, man. I hear good things about Dubai, actually.
Yeah, I mean, G Velo, head of content, moved out like 3 days ago from London.
Oh, really?
He's absolutely loving it. Like, I mean, I think if you're in Europe, there's no better place in the world to be. If you're obviously in Asia, there's probably maybe Singapore, but really nowhere else better to be. I think Americans have it tough because you'll get the benefits of like living here, the great lifestyle, but you still get hit with American taxes. So, for me as a Brit, I basically moved to Dubai, my income doubles and I have a better life. It's like, it's like double wins. Whereas you guys would have a better life, but you wouldn't, you'd just be spending more money basically.
Well, it's way more, it's much more affordable living.
Yeah, I was going to say that actually. One of my friends is in America at the moment, and she was talking about like how just basic things like fruit is like $15 for like a small fruit.
It's getting insane.
What does a bottle of water cost? Like genuinely, like what's like a bottle of like 1 liter or something?
Like that,
1.5 liters.
$3.50 maybe.
Yeah, $3.
Like, yeah.
Insane. I get a pack of 8 shipped from the UK. I drink UK spring water in Dubai, and I get like 8 for like $10. But if I get it from Dubai, it's like 25 cents a bottle. Yeah.
So, and that's shipped in.
Yeah, my one's shipped in. I get it. Amazon obviously hold a big supply, I guess. Like, and it's shipped. Well, I don't know if this is British, but it's like Volvic, right? Which is French. So it comes from the French springs and shipped to me in Dubai. Clean water.
We have where I am. We have actually decent tap water. We have a large. I'm in Rhode Island, so we have a really large public reservoir, man-made reservoir, and we have really good groundwater. So we're fortunate there.
I don't believe any of it. I don't believe any. There was a study. JB might be with me on this one, on this conspiracy theory. Did you hear about the thing where you said the frogs are turning gay, and everyone was like, ah ha ha. And then like you actually looked into it, and it was like because of like the amount of contraception tablets that are in the water supply, it basically comes around and comes in your tap water. Like it's a real fucking thing, and it obviously doesn't turn you gay, of course not, but it lowers your testosterone.
Yeah.
This is it's uncommon. We have the Providence Water Supply Board. I'm doxxed. I don't care. The Providence Water Supply Board has you can't do anything. I'm also a realtor, so you can't do anything near the reservoir at all. They're very, very.
No, but it circulates, right? The water cleans. That's how it works, right? So like when you go to the toilet, like it comes through and cleans itself. That's the UK anyway.
Well,
that's how water works, no? Like it's a big cycle. So then it goes into the water supply.
So sewer water has to be treated
it's like was it something like the water supply? They tested it in America, and it was basically full of depression medicine, right?
Well, yeah. If you're talking about like in a city, right, where you have to have water treatment facilities, there's a lot of drugs that when they're excreted, they aren't destroyed, right? They're still active even after 2 passes in your liver or whatever. They hit the water supply, and then the actual chemicals or whatever they use to clean the water can't even remove it from there. So it's contraceptive.
Yeah. So we drink spring water, natural from the Alps. That's what we drink here. We keep it nice and good,
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's a lot of trust in there's a lot of trust in our systems.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I drink raw milk as well. Like I don't have pasteurized milk, which is hugely frowned upon in the UK. Over here, there's like little farms in Dubai that do raw milk. So
there's laws against actually. There are people you're not allowed to sell raw milk in the US and throughout most of the US. And it's my grandfather and his brothers actually owned a dairy. They were milkmen back in the day. They sold all the land because they didn't know better. So there's like a huge block in my city that they owned this like on a main road. It was all farm. It was a farm, That's why I went into real estate. Actually, I was like, "You guys sold all of this. Why don't we own this?" Like, when I was little, they were like, "Oh yeah, we own this." There's a Citizens huge bank and a bunch of like prime real estate, and we own one house in the neighborhood. And it's
well, the whole thing was a scam, right? Like, if you look into like why pasteurization actually came in, it came in to try and basically take the sale of milk away from the average everyday farmer to sell it to the conglomerate. So the conglomerates were the only people that could afford the pasteurization machine. So they made pasteurization like a legal requirement. So you had to sell it to the big conglomerate, who then put his margin on it, and basically you restricted supply. It's a complete scam. I mean, like, if milk can grow a calf to a cow, it can fucking make me, it can make me be okay,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like,
it's a process. Go ahead, Jack.
No, and that's just it. Like, the difference between raw milk and like what you've grown up drinking when you first have it is night and day. It's literally night and day. It's literally a superfood, right? All the things they told you not to eat: eggs, red meat, raw milk. This is why liberal women are so hysterical, because liberal men who do this shit don't have any testosterone. They can't.
Did you see the thing? Did you see the thing I shared in the alpha chat earlier about how like it was like low testosterone men make worse decisions or something? Yeah. It was like an actual study, and then I found another one because I saw Jacob from Emetica in he's in Dubai, and I was chatting to him. He's in Dubai, and I said to him, whenever I have a cigar, I feel like I'm more like pumped, and I don't know why. And he was like, well, fucking masculine, whatever. Anyway, I found a study this morning just on Twitter that's something to do with nicotine, an increase in use of nicotine.
It's an aromatase inhibitor.
Which stops like estrogen conversion or something, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know this. But they fucking tax nicotine, tell you it's bad for you, but like actually. And if you speak to like our CTOs and our tech boys, they all have fucking like nicotine strips in their gums because they work more intense.
Yeah.
Wild.
My son-in-law's grandfather just recently passed. He was in his 90s. Smoked until the day he died, including through having COVID. Guy smoked cigarettes through COVID. I smoked cigarettes from the time I was like 15 until my early 30s. I got up to like 3 packs of Marlboro Reds a day. So that might explain some of my. I have 7 kids. Most of them were conceived while I was consuming cigarettes all the time. So it actually makes sense. Maybe, maybe I don't. Oh man,
I don't smoke a lot. Like, I'm one of the people that will have a cigar with the boys. Like that's kind of like my vibe. I won't just sit and have a cigarette. But yeah, I had this correlation. You're like, hang about here. I just had a cigar, but I feel absolutely jacked. Like I've just done a workout, and then I was like, this thing came out, and I was like, fucking point proven. All the things they tax us for. Remember when that study came out about like red meat being bad for you? Too many eggs a day will give you a heart attack. Bro, I have 5 eggs a day every single morning from a like little free-range farm in Dubai with raw milk on it. And then I have a steak for lunch.
I can't get me. I love milk so much. Whole milk, full milk. I can't drink it because I'm diabetic, so the lactose it just spikes my sugar. There's a lot of sugar in milk, but if you don't have metabolic disease, it's actually excellent for you. Same thing with eggs.
I just think COVID woke everyone up, bro. Like everything was a scam. Like everything's been proven to scam. I think with Trump now coming into office, we'll realize how more of it is a scam. This whole pharmaceutical thing, RFK is coming in here, whatever, saying like we're gonna ban this, and they're all defending it. And you look at why they're defending it; they receive millions of dollars of grants and funding. So I think it's a really good time to be a Bitcoiner. It's a really good time to be a mild conspiracy theorist, not a major one, because you've pretty much been right about everything. And it's kind of funny to me now. Like I'll go back home and see my boys, and everything that I tried to talk to them about for the last 5 years, and they laughed at me for, is just proven right. And it's just like, I didn't have to say I told you so anymore, because they've got fucking vaccines in their arm, and they're like got 0 Bitcoin, and they're still voting the left-wing parties in the UK. So
you got whatever. 0 bitches, 0 Bitcoin, bunch of vaccines.
No, they have bitches, but they're like controlled by their girls. Do you know what I mean? Like their girls literally, like one of my boys like, I need to go home early today. I'm like, bro, you're 29. Yeah, I'm like, bro, you're 29.
Right.
If your girlfriend won't let you out, you're 29 years old, bro.
The thing is, like, no woman really wants that. Like, that's why, again, that's why like liberal women are so hysterical and miserable. No woman really wants that. It's just like no man wants to be henpecked all the time, right? There's a way that natural human dynamics work, and we like rail against them from literally.
I was dating some girl like relatively recently, and she started just being a fucking nag. And I said to her, look, honestly, all I want as a guy is peace. I was like, my work's pretty stressful. I had a busy life. I'm in my era of just calm and peace. I work really hard. The last thing I want from you ever is any level of tension. If I have tension, it's gone. And she gave me like, the first one, I'm like, okay, we ignore the first level of tension. Second one, I'm like, see you later, love, you're gone. Like this, and she couldn't understand it because I have such a harsh line on this shit. I'm like, one level of, I'm like, goodbye. Like it's just, it's what it is, boys.
Really, for any relationship to last, both people involved have to be okay with the relationship not lasting. Once one person has the position of I can't live without you, it doesn't ever go well.
Well, I think you need to have freedom, right? I mean, that's like, and like live your own life as well. But anyway, boys, we're fucking 26 minutes into the show. We spoke about raw milk, water being poisoned, and now we're on to fucking how to get married. Like this is such the most like
DeOrganized. This is how it always goes. It's just how it goes, man. But yeah, I just let our guests talk about whatever they want to talk about.
Oh, really? We can go all day on this. JB knows this. So yeah. This is how me and JB know each other for about 4-year period.
It's why we almost always go long. It's just we just talk because we can. We can talk about whatever, and it makes. It's how we get to know each other. It builds the network. We're humans first, and
just think about the most slightly right-wing opinion, and it's probably my opinion. So we don't even have to ask me questions like this. Just the answer before we even get to it. Just think right-wing answer. Okay, that's Pete then. It is what it is.
And it's good too because as more AI content becomes released and becomes a part of our everyday lives, human content's going to have a premium on it, right? Just like whether you're a human artist, human writer, what we're doing here, like it's just more interesting. It's just better. I'm all for it, man. I love DeOrganized, for this reason, because we can talk about this, then we can go straight into the other thing that's the most interesting thing, which is Bitcoin, crypto, blockchains. Look, I have to say this so my head doesn't explode. All I saw on my timeline yesterday on X was all of these maxis celebrating that Tether is going to be using Lightning. And I'm like, do these ignorant motherfuckers not know that Tether is crypto and they've been told to hate crypto? I know the underlying dynamic is most people don't know shit about any of this. And a lot of people, especially maxis, just get brought into an identity. But
the only thing that would really excite maxis over is that they have an easier time exiting Bitcoin, which is contradictory.
It's lightning though. I don't really get it.
Anything that Adam Back says is okay to support, maxis are going to support. That's the problem. So that's why I've never been one to kowtow to or give a rat's nutsack here about what a maxi has to say, because it's just so transparently obvious.
Well, it's also it's a conflicting position to be a maxi when you're adhering to decentralization. The whole thing
only Bitcoin, bro, no crypto. Oh, USDT. Where do you think that comes from?
It's almost it could be worse. They could be the XRP bros that are getting excited about having a dollar stablecoin and asking for
boys. I had a nightmare. Yeah, I was chatting to some lass, and she had a bag of XRP, maybe 14 grand of XRP, and her ex-boyfriend had bought I don't know, fucking the last cycle, maybe the cycle before, who knows when it was, and was when everyone was like, XRP's gonna go to the moon. So he bought it for her on her Binance account or whatever. Anyway, they broke up. She obviously forgot about XRP. The fucking pump happened, and obviously everyone all the boys in the office are talking about crypto. She downloads it, has this fucking small 5-figure bag of XRP, and she's like, Pete, what do I do with it? And I was like, XRP is a fucking shitcoin. But like, I don't know. This market is so like toppy. I don't even know anymore. And I think it was like 320 or something. I can't remember what it was. But like, this is the problem. Like, these people who invest in these clown coins, these like dino clowns, are actually winning. Like, and I look like the actual moron for being like, you know what? Like, Bitcoin is great. Stacks is like gonna be a fucking beta play on Bitcoin. Like, easy beta returns. Bro, I'm fucking down 6 figures unrealized on Stacks right now for being fucking actually liking technology. You know
Right.
I mean?
Yeah. It's a weird market.
It's the
And
strangest. I know some big traders, and they've honestly said this is the most difficult market to trade ever. And the reason I think it is because back in 2017 there was maybe like 200 tokens, 300 tokens maybe. I don't know, but like now there's 90 million tokens, and all these boys like when alt season. I'm like, you fucking put all the money in meme coins that is run by a literal cabal, and you're wondering why there's no liquidity in altcoins. It's because you're all in fucking memes. Like, maybe if you want an altcoin season, you should start fucking buying the altcoins. You know, like This is kind of obvious at this point.
You know, nobody famous asked if Tether can be frozen. Yeah, it can.
Of course,
that's yeah. And here's the thing, like, to speak to your point, this is what's so insidious about the pump fund model on Solana. Solana's inflationary, right? So it's a token supply that goes up, and so all of these contracts that bond on pump fund, they bond with a locked liquidity in perpetuity. So it actually helps Solana, right? Because it's locking some of this inflationary Solana up forever. And so then the protocol itself is just extracting massive amounts of liquidity from the market daily. And like, you know, there's ways to beat that model. You know, I'm working on a entirely new crypto asset that I'm going to start talking to some people about that could actually like change those dynamics. But like that model and the way it's being utilized is terribly extractive for the ecosystem for several ways. For one, all of the money's going in literally into one spot, and then two, if you're new here and you're like, you see some kind of token getting talked about, now the cycle moves so fast from the time that person gets in the token and they're like, oh my God, I'm rich. And then 2 hours later, their money's gone, right? Like it's just hyper, it's like hyper cycles. And I originally thought, okay, well, after about a year of this, people are going to wise up and they're going to stop. They're going to look for alternatives. But you can really make bad decisions counting on other people's intelligence. So like that's clearly not happening yet. So the market just needs better alternatives. But that pump fund Solana model is absolutely wrecking anything that's not Bitcoin. And the only reason why it's not wrecking Bitcoin is because all the smart money and institutional money is flowing into Bitcoin. So like there's ways to do it better, and it's just by bringing better stuff to market, better alternatives, right? And yeah, it's absolutely destroying the actual retail itself.
It looks like we have an XRP maxi in the audience chatting in the live chat.
Peace. I'll tell you this. I have a lot of Bitcoin, yeah, and the one thing I'm not doing is I'm not on a YouTube comment section shilling it. So man's from poverty and needs to go in.
That's yeah, the XR like the insecurity the XRP bros have about Bitcoin tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, I know people who are wealthy and they're not in a YouTube comment section, so man's literally poor. Go away. There's not. Like XRP boys have all got loads of XRP, but they do things that poor people do. So I don't know.
Well, they don't have it. They don't have loads of XRP relative to. They don't have XRP relative to the Ripple
for fucking Brian
Foundation.
Yeah, no, XRP is owned like 50% of Ripple. So like,
wake up, guys! XRP is going to be $10,000.
Yeah, keep waiting for it while Ripple just dumps for years while you just sit there and try to price ramen.
Ripple's gonna give their U.S. government. You guys didn't know? That's like their whole master plan was give their supply. That
No, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There's some fucking dodgy deal with XRP involved, probably. Probably gonna
listen,
happen.
I'm not telling people to dump XRP because it can absolutely do well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And so I want to Coins, our new friend in the ecosystem, is asking where the live chat is. So just to explain to people, we stream across multiple platforms on multiple accounts. BitcoinLive's YouTube channel, the DeOrganized YouTube channel. We're on X. We're on Twitch. We're on everything: TikTok, YouTube, Facebook channels, and stuff like that. We're everywhere. The live chat on Restream, the app we use, aggregates, but X's API doesn't play nice with all of the other ones. So the people using engaging in live chat on the stream on X don't see the live chat from anywhere else. So you have the benefit of not being able to engage with J-Way and his.
I think that's Mike trolling.
I think someone's trolling. Yeah, so he's definitely a troll. I'm seeing this now. The full-on troll. Anyway, boys, back to the real shit. So there's two things I want to talk about. First one is obviously return to BTC. I think this has been nothing short than one of the greatest things that's ever happened with Stacks. I really mean that. Like, I've been in this space in Stacks since 2020, 2021 time. You know, we've had our moments, but there's always been an undercurrent of like competitive nature, or like me shitting on Alex or Alex shitting on us. You know, like it's always been the case. And I think that a competitive edge is always great fun, right? And it's always good. But I think the time where for us to unite was like this week. And literally every single protocol that I reached out to said yes and sent a minimum of 250 stacks. Some sent 1,000 stacks within 5 minutes. In fact, the only protocol that didn't send money was Gamma. Gamma said that it wasn't the right time to support this initiative. You decide you want to do that information. Everyone else said yes and funded it literally within 5 minutes. And for me, that is absolutely insane to see. And I'm super proud of it. Second thing, just had a message from the BNS1 boys. They've integrated a Velar swap to anything on BNS1. So you can go on there right now and you could do a swap from like Pepe to buy a BNS name. Like, wow. I think it's live now.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
it's only just to fill people in, it's only 2 STX to register a .btc name anyway. But the initiative is, if you register, is there a time period?
Yeah, we're doing 2 weeks. I'm going to do 2 weeks. So far we've had 160 in the last 20 hours or something.
That's nuts. So that's great. And
well, if you go onto BNS1, it's a statistic that I'm not getting the boys to share at the moment. If you go on BNS1, you can actually see the volume, and the volume is up 94% in the last 30 days. We've only been going for like a fucking day on this shit. So it's good. Every metric is good. It's showing that it's absolutely working. But yeah, this we wanted to get the Velar swap to anything before the announcement, but there was some delay from the tech bros. But yeah, I'm super bullish. Like, it's exactly what was required. Like, it would be nice to have the Gamma guys on board for obvious reasons. But BNS1 is the place we all should be supporting right now. These guys are literal volunteers who put their own money into a protocol with no centralized support. The only support given, literally, he told me, was fucking yesterday from us.
Well, we had Snazzy on our show, but yeah, there's not.
You know what I'm saying? Like protocol based. You know, because like because no one really cares. Like, and that's a problem because it's such a big turning point, like .btc, for the entire ecosystem. So if you support them, Peace, fucking fantastic, because this is the shit that gets people out into this ecosystem. This is how we grow. So I've said to them, like, anything we can possibly ever do to support the BNS1, we will. I'll prioritize BNS1 over any partnership for BTCs, because it's, for me, it's just the most important thing. And the boys are just absolutely trench warriors.
They did get a very minimal funding through D grants, because there's just not enough budget for what's going on.
Bro, D grants for me, like, well, I think Hero did a great job with his hands tied. But I remember once there was a guy who wanted to create this is a true story. He was trying to create, like, hi, I've got this idea. Can I have funding from, I need $1,000 of funding or something. and they're like, yeah, fill this form in, bro. I fucking just replied to them and said, message me, I'll send it. But like, this shouldn't be that fucking difficult to get like $1,000 of funding to build on Stacks. And that's
really
one of the problems we've had. This is one of the problems we fucking had in this ecosystem is we talk about a flow of Bitcoin. There should be a flow of grants. Like, there should be a flow of grants that sweep through the whole ecosystem, level everyone up, increase the quality of the community broadcasters, increase the quality of the individuals. That's exactly what we should be doing. So yeah, I mean, I'm super bullish on the BNS one, boys, but I also do think that we've turned a corner now with Stacks by showing the way forward. You know, like, I think return to BTC originally was to get people to use BTC. What it's actually done is it's proven to the foundation that actually, controversially, we waited for you to do something and nothing happened, so we did it ourselves. Like, genuinely, I think that's the first thing it shows. It also shows that the community is united to do the greater thing for the ecosystem. And Stacks has two ways to go now. There's two paths for it to follow. One thing I'll say, and this isn't at anyone in general, but I expected a retweet from Manib for return to BTC. I expected Manib to say, there's been 15 projects on my chain, all come together with only one aim, and that is to level up the entire ecosystem. The man didn't even do a retweet. For me, that's a core problem. Like, it's an actual problem. Like, if I'm the CEO of a chain and I see the community come around with basically a fucking basket being lads, please donate for a good cause, and you don't show that basket of fucking, look how great this is, that's bad. The analogy I used to someone yesterday was it's like being the president of a country and seeing everyone fucking collect money and then doing their own bin collections and doing their, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's stupid. Like, it should be centrally controlled, this stuff. And I think we've shown a route. I think we've shown a direction of travel that they can now get on this train and they can take over this train. This train is going now. This community unity project is going, and people can now get on the train and they can take it themselves. Because I'll be honest, I don't have a fucking time to keep doing this. Like, I have, you know, we have multiple different chains to deploy on, multiple different projects, multiple different side quests, which we'll be announcing in the next kind of couple of months. I don't have time to fucking step in for a week and be CMO of Stacks. I just can't do it. So this now has to take momentum of itself. And this is what I said on the spaces yesterday was, like, anyone else is welcome to jump on this train and push it. And I've always said to all of the businesses we've always ran is, you need to rock this fucking stone, and eventually when it gets momentum, it's easy for everybody else. And I think that what we did this week was we rocked the fucking stone, and now it's moving. And I'm just hoping that the Stacks Foundation, Trust Machines, whatever the fuck they call themselves, push this stone now, because it's got momentum and it's got unity.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Like, okay, so again, I posed this thought experiment, and I'm gonna pose it here. If you take everybody who makes content and educates and onboards people to Stacks, if all of those people, let's say, I don't know, they got raptured, right? Like the rapture, like they're just gone one day. What does Stacks do for messaging? What does Stacks do for messaging on social media? What does Stacks do? Those things need to happen now, like today. Like they needed to happen yesterday. Because again, like, yes, we are trench warriors, and that gives us different perspectives. And you know, your trench warriors are not working with just basketfuls of resources, like relative to, you know, 250 or 500 STX to a protocol or a meme token or whatever, you know, relative to what's actually out there, you know, the kind of firepower. It's not even compared. You can't compare it. And then how do you put a dollar sign on? And I'm not going to say this to onboard to toot my own horn. This is not. Please don't misunderstand what I'm about to say. Like, I onboarded you, Peace.
Absolutely.
How much value do you bring to this ecosystem? Okay.
I don't know.
How many? I've onboarded people for years. So if you take these people who have been doing this and onboarding people and working very hard to like make the case for Stacks, and all it takes is a little bit of nurture, a little bit of structure, a little bit of help, and you all of a sudden you have 20 Jack Ben switches who are onboarding 6 PeaceLoveMusics a year. What does Stacks look like in 3 years?
I came up with the concept just before. So I know people. Basically, I moved to Dubai to not work, and I was just chilling. And I had came up with this. And obviously, I was in the Stacks trenches with JB, and I came through via .btc. That .btc is the biggest fucking upside ever because like the amount that I think, same as Peace, bringing to the community.
One of the first things I did. Yep. Yeah. One of the first things I did in the ecosystem.
Yeah. So I got BTC, and now I'm fucking CMO of a project. Do you know what I'm saying? Like so. The reality is that I agree with JB. One of the things that I had an idea, a concept before I joined the Velar team, and it was basically like creating a media company, and anybody could create content on the media company, and depending on how many impressions, engagement, shares, or whatever it got, you would get paid out a reward. And I pitched this concept to Stacks and said, basically, you guys as like a chain should basically fucking buy this concept of like anyone can be a content creator for Stacks. And depending on how you perform, whether it be video views piece or shares or how much content you produce that week, it shares a pot of money. And I came. This is 2023. I had this conversation with them, and there was no appetite for it. But that was the concept I had. I spoke to numerous different people.
It's one thing.
The higher vibes guys as well.
It's actually one of the things we're thinking about as far as what we might iterate with DeOrganized, as far as. Part of our thing isn't just to have a podcast, a show. We're trying to engage and get as many people on. That's why I have a show with Zenitron, why I have a show with the AI show with Attract Funding, why I'm bringing Landy on. We're supporting Good Kitty and anyone else. And then also we're trying to get everyone that has spaces to come on and participate in our calendar so we can amplify that. But one of the things we want to do eventually is have tools that integrate for creators where they can come to DeOrganized and they can actually use Gary's Gated or maybe some other kind of access control protocol to control access to the content they're creating and maybe monetize that way, where there's a public facing stuff that you're putting out, but you have exclusive content for people that hold your NFT or hold your token or hold a token and stuff like that. And that can be integrated with Gated. We're looking at Leo at Seigel is building out an API where they're coming out with a V2 on Seigel, where you're a content creator, you're promoting a show or you're hosting spaces, but you want to do a newsletter. Well, you can do it right through your DeOrganized platform. Write your articles on Seigel, and then we'll also have some social sharing stuff that makes it easier to share it out to your socials and stuff like that to support content creators.
Peace. I think
for
me, honestly, like I can't think of a more enjoyable task than being like a Stack CMO. Like in terms of the opportunities you have and the different avenues you could take and the different angles you could go for. Like because the problem when you're a protocol like we are, we're relying on users in an ecosystem, or right. We can't, like a protocol can't really afford to go out and create avenues to bring users through because it's just a really fucking costly exercise. So onboard someone from Solana, drag them through, teach them about Stacks. These are the things that's a protocol. That's a fucking chain job, if I'm honest with you. So as a CMO of a protocol, our hands are completely tied based on what's happening in this ecosystem. That comes from TVL. If I have a perp dex with $1 million TVL, that's a disastrous perp dex and it fails. It's users. If I have fucking 100 users, well, that's bullshit for a perp dex as well because I get no trading fees. You understand? So there's so many things where if you're a CMO, you're so reliant on these fucking chains, right? And so if you're in an ecosystem where the chain isn't producing what you need, TVL, users, engagement, strategy, then really your fucking hands are tied. And what we're seeing now, and we're kind of thankfully we're okay because we have other L2 partners. We'll just fucking go to someone else, BitLayer, Bob, Botanics, Mesos, fucking there's 25,000 of these fucking L2s. Whoever we think is better, we'll just deploy there. So we've got a fucking escape hatch. But some of these boys that are building right now, and Peace, I guess yourself right now, is you don't have a fucking escape hatch. You are Stacks doing this thing for Stacks. So unless Stacks turn,
we are chain agnostic. We are focused.
Let's say Alex, right? Alex Labs. If Stacks doesn't get it right, Alex's bet, from what I can see, and they may say differently, I don't know. Their bet is that if we can be the main DeFi protocol on Stacks, if Stacks wins, they do very well. If Stacks fails, it goes to fucking zero. That's how that game works. That is a complete and utter up or down game. Whereas we thankfully have these other channels, which, you know, there's some really good announcements we've got lined up over the next 6 weeks.
With their X-Link bridge, they're probably not entirely beholden to Stacks.
Different projects. I mean, it's owned by the same people, but the Alex token isn't the X-Link token. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's a different.
No, you're right. You're right. They have,
and that is simply, and fair play to them. I mean, they're intelligent people. That's to get liquidity into Stacks. Like, that is literally like, fuck, there's no liquidity in Stacks. Like, bring from fucking Ethereum USDT. Like, please. Like, please bring it across.
My project's a little bit different. I have an easier way. I can cover any platform, any L2. Like, I love
tomorrow Stacks. You can talk about, tomorrow you can change.
I can talk up, right. I can do BitLayer and I can do Bob and I can do, like, I can talk about everything. You know, we've had people from, we had Art Unchained and Unchained Ninja from Art Unchained, and we had Danny from the Miracle Project, which is like supporting like all sorts of different NFT communities out beyond Stacks and stuff like that. We're chain agnostic. I love the Stacks community, and we got our start through D grants, really just trying to cover. There's so many good people trying to build bootstrap projects on Stacks, and that's what I'm most attracted to in the ecosystem.
Bro, the community here, you wouldn't see the level of content. JB's right. You wouldn't see the level of content that is produced by community members who do nothing but the love of the sport in any other ecosystem. I've never seen this level of community love and effort on anything. Solana doesn't have it. XRP doesn't. XRP has people saying number go up. No one's really in the fucking trenches being like, this is incredible. We're going to build this. I'm going to build a fuking show that explains the news every single morning. No one's doing this, but there is literally no support. Like, literally no support. Like, so I did a message to some people yesterday. I said, I'm a big fan of the Stacks marketing team, but they're underfunded, underappreciated, and they got no freedom and overregulated, right? So until you change one of those, if not all three of those things, their hands are always going to be tied. I do think, however, since they've done this new intern thing, it's definitely got better from a communication level. But that still doesn't change the heart of the problem, the crux of the problem. And I think that's because most of the control is centralized by one person. And I think if that doesn't change, then I think Stacks is really going to struggle. I don't know why there's no CMO at Stacks. I can't fucking understand it. I think that Velar has a bigger marketing team than the Stacks marketing team, genuinely. And that's because I fucking turn up and I say, Mithil, I need a fucking budget for a marketing team, and I want this role, this role, this role, this role. If I don't have these fucking roles, I leave. So he gave me the fucking roles. I don't think there's anybody with the fucking cojones at the top of Stacks saying, I need this, 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 and this. And I think that is probably the core crux of the issue, is it's very much a centrally controlled entity. Whether they say decentralized or not, it's fucking not. We all know it's not. There's one man with all the power. So that needs to change, or he needs to give someone the power to do this. And that's the only way, the only hope I think they have. You know, we're fortunate enough, we're a protocol. If we don't think that it's going in the right direction, we will just pivot and go somewhere else. I still fucking love Stacks. I still think Stacks is an incredible project with great people and great users. But I think we have to all now be looking strategically about this stuff and saying, if it doesn't get to a position where we all believe it's going to go, then we have to make other decisions. We have our fucking own holders, investors, and friends that we have to look after. You know, that's my fucking care. I don't care about maintaining a relationship with someone. I have my own, people I need to look after. So that's why I will say to everybody, no one needs to fucking worry about if Stacks goes to zero tomorrow if you're a Velar holder. It shouldn't make anyone who trusts Velar worry about that, because it's not our plan A. You know, we have plenty of options on the table.
Let me ask you this, because I know a lot of people. It was first one I heard about it from Jack, the perp decks, and I know you have the perp decks launched on Bob already. You can, if you have an Ether wallet, you can already participate in that. But I am very excited about it launching on Stacks, the Stacks perp decks. We need one in the ecosystem, and last I heard, we're just waiting for consistent fast blocks. I'm not on the technical side of things, so I don't know where we stand. It does seem like most of the time we're getting fast blocks.
The problem is, bro. So yeah, I mean, I'm most excited about Stacks perp decks out of all of the products we have lined up. It is literally the only one that I'm really excited by, apart from this random curveball, which we'll announce in a couple of months, which I'm fucking obsessed with. This one for me is like my most exciting announcement. the reality is there's three issues, right? There's three core issues. One is the guaranteed blocks under 20 seconds. Now, at the moment, like 99 or 95% of blocks are under 20 seconds, but then you get a fucking 20-minute block.
And that's still happening as of today?
Yeah, and if you're an intelligent human, what that basically means to you is you can front run the price changes. Because the price comes through an oracle. So it's a GMX style. We don't have an order book. It comes through an oracle. So if the time of the price doesn't come through for 20 minutes, you can fucking jump in there, get your fucking trades in, like bang, you know, and you can. So it's not
right. You can front run everything, but then it's PvP front running.
Yeah,
it's not,
so now you know, as a CMO, I start going, actually, do I not deploy and forever, right? Or do we allow a fucking PvP window if someone's fucking smart enough? And I think actually I'm leaning more towards I'm allowing the PvP window, and we hope we go the right way. That's the first thing.
Right. Second, people just know it's there.
Second thing is stable coins. So we need $10 million of liquidity on the SBTC to USDC pair for it to actually be a relative success. If I get my fucking boy Tyler to do a tweet saying we now should all trade on a perp dex, and he comes along and he gets 100 lads, 1,000 lads to do some leverage, we run out the 10 million of liquidity pretty fucking quickly. Because the way a perp dex works is, let's say you have 100 traders with $1,000 10x long, it's $10,000 times 100 traders. That's how much gets sucked out of the liquidity pool. So if you can think, you know, that's goes both ways, but that's the problem. So liquidity is a key problem. If we don't have enough liquidity in the ecosystem, it's a problem. Now, the stable coin that Stacks want us to use is AEUSDC, right? AEUSDC right now has $1.7 million of total liquidity across the whole fucking ecosystem. This includes on all exchanges, on all wallets, 1.7 million. I need 5 million for my smallest fucking depth of liquidity. So just, if I took all the fucking liquidity in stables, I still wouldn't be able to launch a perp dex right now.
So AEUSD is it all bridged in USDC?
So that gets me to the next point piece. Nobody in their fucking right minds, no LP wants to put liquidity into Allbridge. They just don't. It's like a bridge version, bridge of a bridge or something. I don't really understand the tech of it.
Wouldn't I just put it into USDC somewhere?
Because USDC isn't in Stacks.
Sure, but I mean, why? Right, but I don't want to.
Yeah, so if you want to put $10 million somewhere and get yields, you just put your USDC into Solana and get your yields. Why would you come to Stacks and then bridge it? Right. So there's an update coming which is slightly good. I don't know what's confidential and what's not. So I don't want to say something wrong, but there's an update coming which is bullish for the stable coin. So half of me is like, I'll wait for that because I think it will drive more liquidity into the ecosystem. But yeah, they're the three issues. Stablecoin's a bag of shit. Liquidity and the block time. Block time, fuck it. Let's let that slide for now. We can just call that, you know, whatever. So now I'm looking at liquidity. I've been very public with the Stacks team about how much liquidity I need. If you want my perp dex live, I need $10 million liquidity. They said they're gonna make it happen. So then that removes those two issues. So the only key one is going to be this stablecoin, which I think is going to be solved. What month now? I think that'll be solved mid Feb. I think.
And here's the thing: when you're talking about this perp dex, right? If you go look at Hyperliquid and the volume it's done, and Hyperliquid is a piece of shit compared to Stacks. But like, if you capture a fraction of that in the Stacks ecosystem, it's a night and day change. And now you have, you know, people like we were talking about earlier about how the Solana pump fund thing is burning so many people. People are now looking at, okay, Bitcoin meme coins, right? What's this Bitcoin meme coin thing all about? So, well, really, in all actuality, a SIP10 is better than a rune, just period. So on Stacks, you have the perfect marriage of being able to bridge actual runes. You use SIP10s on the stack side, create all kinds of DeFi, every kind of flywheel you want to do with your runes, all these things. That's why it made sense for us to do runes, right? But it doesn't make sense. Like, we're small fish. We made a token for a community, right? We just it was fun. It's fun. But in doing so, I took that very seriously, and I made plans based on the best I could forecast, right? That's just like you did in any other business. And like, your plans can't come to fruition if you can't count on people who actually can make things happen on a large scale understanding the plan. Right?
Yeah, so that's the problem. This is the core crux of the issue. Is we were told Nakamoto was 2 years ago. So put it into a business context where you raise money off the back of it, you build products off the back of it, you've got salaries and marketing strategy off the back of it. Like when should you deploy your marketing strategy based on Nakamoto, based on deployment? These are all things that matter, right? Like you can't, if I've got a marketing budget and I'm told that Nakamoto will go live on fucking November, well, I'm going to start activating my marketing budget beforehand so we can fucking fly into Nakamoto. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you delay it again, it's like, fuck, I wasted my marketing budget there. Our KOLs are fucking all shot their shots. And now you're running out of ammunition. So this is the core problem was the communication between what was happening with Nakamoto and protocols. I had no fucking, every time a delay happened, you heard it the same time I heard it, which is terrible.
Right.
To put it bluntly.
Right. The communications leading up to even the drop of SBTC, and I'm not faulting the people that were like managing that project per se, but there was no, like when it was launched, the day it was launched, when I tried to mint was when I found out I needed to do a minimum of 0.01 Bitcoin. Later that day was when I found out that I if I held the Bitcoin in my wallet, I was going to get rewarded with 5%. Yeah, I immediately put it into Zest because they were offering 12%. Before I didn't get the 5% bonus, and it just was really very, the message nobody knew, and I did it. Not only that, but I hosted a space on a SIP 28 with Andre. Like I didn't know any of this stuff.
The problem is, Peace. The problem is I love the marketing team at Stack. The people are great, but when you're in a marketing team, you have structures, right? It's like tiered. And you have a CMO at the top. Then you have your heads of whatever required, content design, activations, whatever, social media, whatever. And then you have people do the work. And in a big organization, that's how the structure works. But you need this fucking guy here to be like, right, lads, okay, cool. We got this fucking activation, this activation, this activation. Right, comms is good, content's good. When's this going out? Where's the partnership with this? And so me as a CMO, this is why I'm going to fucking blow my own trumpet. Vet's communication is pretty fucking solid because when anything happens, I want to fucking know every single person in the team that they've done their shit. And the content guys done his content, the PR's got their PR done, the KOL's got it. Because then it all comes back to me and I go tick, 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 tick. And then if there's not a tick, I'm like, where the fuck is it, boys? So that's not happening in Stacks. There's no one being like, here's the fucking vision. Here's how we drive forward. Make sure all these boxes are ticked. And the problem is then you've got people filling in for that role who shouldn't be filling in for that role. And then it's sucking resources out of their actual fucking job. Because they're under-resourced. Like Stack's marketing team is substantially under-resourced. They probably need to double.
We all have finite bandwidth, no matter how much we want to produce.
It's no one's problem. It's just it is someone's problem, but it's no one in the marketing team's problem. And it's very fucking clear. It's a funding issue from the fucking top.
Right.
But and the thing is, like, okay, so runes trading has been live on Bitflow. You can trade runes on Velar, you can trade runes
4 or 5 today.
On Alex, you can do all of these things.
They kind of
and
so
few people know that, but yet all of crypto Twitter knew about Odin on ICP yesterday, where you can go and now you can launch this pump fund type model for runes. Like that's all anyone was talking about. Okay, so why is it so hard to get messaging out about, guys, yeah, we recognize that like runes trading sucks on the L1. This is why we have it on the L2. And this is why this is actually a good place to do it. And this is why Stacks is secure. And this is why this and that.
I think it comes down to I caught up with Jacob from Hermetica, Mythal, and G yesterday. And Jacob said to me, he said, I don't like Mythal should be absolutely applauded for how he manages you, Pete. And what he basically meant was like, I'm fucking just running out of headless chicken, fucking bang this, say this, fucking whatever. And it's true. Like I'm absolutely a fucking massive liability to I've only ever been CEO my whole entire life, like ever. I've never ever worked for anybody else. So this is the first time that I actually have to step down. And even today, Mythal goes, Pete, I didn't like how you did this, but I liked how you did that. And I'm like, bro, fuck it. I really believe this. This is what I stand on. I'm standing on this fucking ground. And he goes, Pete, if you really believe it, I trust you enough to do it. And I don't think there's anybody in the Stacks organization who is willing to say, no, actually, I fucking believe it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like most people in my situation, if Mythil went, Pete, I don't believe what you did there, I think it was wrong, wouldn't defend it. They wouldn't go, no, I fucking believe it. They'd go, okay, sorry, boss. Right? And I think there's too much sorry, boss happening in Stacks. And what I mean by that is when you're in the most competitive fucking sport in the world, which is crypto marketing, there was nothing. The reason I'm doing this is because I launched an ad agency when I was 21, grew it to the biggest one of the biggest ones in the UK, fucking bought and sold 6 companies in the UK, right? I'm like, what the fuck do I do now? What's more competitive than fucking buying and selling companies? Fucking crypto marketing. Like, you understand? I was like, come on, fucking Pete, let's see how good you really are. This is genuinely why I did this role. So I don't have to be here. And what that means is I say what the fuck I want. I stand on the fucking ground that I believe in. And even if Mythil goes, Pete, I don't fucking rate that. I'm like, bro, fucking trust me. I believe this. And I think that we need to find somebody who is entrepreneurial, doesn't need to fucking be there, and can stand on their own ground within the Stacks team and put them as like head of business development, head of growth, fucking anything, and just let them fucking run. Because otherwise we have this corporate structure that clearly isn't working. It clearly isn't working. And maybe I shouldn't say that as a fucking seam of a protocol, but it's kind of fucking obvious at this point, and I've raised it too many times.
I think what you're saying is actually spot on. There needs to be more diverse opinion and someone with the fortitude to actually, like, you don't want to hold on to an opinion when you're obviously wrong, but if you feel strongly about it, you want to at least. So I have a lot of experience as far as like I'm on a number of realtor boards, and we're not always in agreement on how things should be handled. You want to have an open mind so that you can appreciate what everyone's proposing and then find the solution. But the solution doesn't. You have to be able to compromise. People, and if everyone's just agreeing, yes, boss, then you're not actually making the right decisions. You're not even considering the right stuff because people are afraid to. I don't know that that's the case in Stacks.
I was told by a number of people in this ecosystem that I should be more like I told JB this yesterday. I need to be more of a polite Pete. I was told this. Pete, you need to be more of a polite Pete. Like, it will help you in this ecosystem much more if you're polite Pete.
Diplomatic, baby.
I was like, fuck it, I'll try it for a week. Got so fucking frustrated. Again, I was like, bro, if I ain't shouting, who's shouting? It was like me and Call Me Hunch were the only fucking people standing up for shit. I was like, bro, I need to be back. I'm sorry, Hunchy, I left you fucking out to dry there, bro. I'll come back again.
That's a tough group to be in.
Yeah, like me and Hunchy.
I tried it for a week.
Yeah.
Welcome, Michael, by the way. Thank you.
I'll try it for a week.
You've ever been on our show.
A week is a long time to pretend to be professional.
Yeah, bro. I've never been it. So, do you know what? So funny. I won't dox myself too. Well, people can fucking Google me, but like, I got sued by a PLC at 18. Like, literally, like, and I went to take him on, bro. 18. Do you know what I mean? Like, whatever, man. Like, I think you've got to just. I'm really bad at sieving. I'm ADHD as fuck, as you can probably tell. I'm really bad at sieving. I just truly believe that if you want to like yourself as a human, and you always say your truth, that's the right thing to be. And like I said, someone said to me, if you're more polite and more Americanized, you actually would go further in this ecosystem. And I was like, I'm just gonna be me, man. I don't need to be here. So I'm gonna just fucking do what I want. And if it gets me cancelled or kicked out or pushed out, or if Mythil goes, Pete, you're fucking too far now, bro, I'd appreciate it. I'd be like, fine, like, I get it. But this is who I am, you know? And
yeah,
but honestly, Mythil's been phenomenal. I'll say this now. Mythil was obviously 28, 29, really young kid, like, really to be running a project like this. Super crypto native, fucking finger on the pulse, knows exactly where the fucking world's going. You know, he was predicting Bitcoin L2 stuff fucking ages ago. He actually predicted what's happening with Stacks now. He actually predicted this. He predicted the whole fucking landscape. But I always say to him, Mythil, you give me the fucking crypto direction of travel. I'll tell you how to do the fucking marketing, comms, communication, and strategy. And that's really why it works so well. Because he knows, like I said something to the other day, he said, you didn't say it in a fucking very nice way to me, Pete. I'm like, bro, just know when I talk to you, it's from a fucking position of wanting you to win, the team to win, and everyone to win. And he's like, yeah, I know that, Pete, now. Like, I get it. But it's just, we've got such a good relationship, me and him. Like, he just knows what I do, and I know what he does, and then we just fucking drive.
Yeah, but authenticity is actually an overlooked quality. You know, it's actually what we do here. You know, I don't share opinions that I don't agree with. I don't support projects that I'm not interested in. You know, I'm not worried about actually saying things that are unpopular, even if it ends up hurting our viewership, because at the end of the day, we're here to be honest and true about the things we want. And if we can't be that, then we're not going to get actually honest and true outcomes anyway. So
you know what happens when you just go along to get along? You get a bunch of mystery juice injected in your shoulder and your fucking heart explodes. Like,
he's back. JV's back.
That's the problem. Like, you can do that, but why? Right? Like, there's a limit, and the limit is at facts, and all we can do as humans is understand the facts to the best of our abilities, right? And you can be civil in disagreement, and but disagreement's not a bad thing, however you do it. But people don't like being told they're wrong, right? But you still, not everyone's gonna be right all the time. There's things that I love being right. Being right's like my shit. I love it more than anything else other than my family. But guess what? There's things I'd love to be wrong about. So make me wrong. Show me I'm wrong. Like, let's have this debate, right? Let's hash this shit out. But the problem is, like, there's so many would seem to be blind spots, and no one wants to be like, yeah, that's a blind spot. No, why don't we recognize the blind spot and then figure out how to fix it? Because the reality, getting back to Pete's point, is this is a hyper competitive, hyper innovative space. Like, your edge is all you've got. That's why you'll never hear me say anything other than, like, the first time I talked to Mythal, I was like, oh shit, this is gonna fly. Like, Velar's where it's at, because, speaking to Pete's point, Mythal knows this stuff like the back of his hand, right? Like, I can sit here and talk to anybody and hold my own to whatever degree, and Mythal's just here with it, right? So when you recognize that doesn't make you lesser, it makes you better in reality, right? There's people in here, like, if I'm talking to Mike and I'm like, Mike, I have this thing that's going to be really good for degens and businesses, and I don't know shit about Web 2. I don't give a shit about Web 2, but you speak Web 2 language. So let's discuss this, because if we take this where I want to take it, let's go ahead. I'm gonna need your help, right? And you don't have that from Stacks. Like, your community's from the trenches. We understand the dynamics of this very, very well. But you know what? Like, we're trying to build structures with sticks and stones, and there's a pile of brick and mortar and concrete and marble and granite and everything else that's, like, not doing anybody any good. Like, we've got the tools, but we, as the people who are like, your blind spots are killing you, there's nothing we can do about it except build a 6500 STX.
Fucking mental.
Right?
I'm convinced, and people may disagree with me, I'm convinced, this is my actual thesis on this all now. When the Velar Perpdex goes live, depending on how that performs, and I genuinely mean this, decides the future of Stacks, in my opinion. If there's liquidity there, if there's volume there, if there's users there, honestly, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I know you're saying this because I'm a fucking Velar shill. If that fails, Stacks is finished. I'm telling you now, because a Perpdex should be the entire volume of an ecosystem, and it pumps volume back round. Because if someone, let's say for example, someone wants to trade SBTC, long SBTC, they'll go to Coinbase, they'll get their stacks, they'll go to Bitflow, they'll swap to SBTC, they'll come to the Perpdex, and then they fucking long trade. So what's happened there is you've had to touch leather wallets, you've touched all this other bullshit to get there. So the whole ecosystem's worked on that. And then when they make the money, and they want to swap back to a stable coin, they come back again, right? So if a perp dex goes live on Stacks, obviously it's Velar perp dex is the one that's going live first or whatever. If that actually fails, I'm done. I'm selling the whole fucking bag. I'm telling you now, because there's no way. If that doesn't work, there's no way back for this.
No, and that's the thing. Like, again, if you go back and you look at anything I've said about perp dexes and Velar and Stacks, if you go and look at anything I've ever said or written about it, that's 1,000% true. You go look at the volume Hyperliquid has done. Like this, you want people in here actually using your blockchain and using your assets and using your products. And a perp dex will get more people there than almost anything else. You have some cool protocols on Stacks. But guess what? If a guy's got $500 and he wants to turn it into 5,000, he's not going to stake it for some synthetic STX or some yield.
JB, the one thing
he'll go to the perp dex.
The other thing as well is we get offers every single week from different Bitcoin L2s, as you can probably imagine, about bringing Velar to those L2s because they know we're multi L2. Pretty much every single L2 offers to incentivize users to trade on our perp dex. What I mean by that is, let's say, I'm not going to say the name of the L2s, but L2A will pay for people to trade on a perp dex if we bring it to them.
Right.
Understand that. Let's see what happens with Stacks. Don't think it will happen.
And that's what I've been telling the Rubrus for so long. I'm like, guys, we're a community. I said we're going to be able to go from L2 to L2 based on who incentivizes us to go there.
Yep.
Because community, you need community. Like you every blockchain needs community. I know people are tired of me saying this, but you need community. It's an important part. And community trades at a premium when people are trying to get attention.
But I'm telling you now, bro. Like you go to any of the L2, there's no community like the Stacks community. That's the only thing that Stacks has going for it right now. But what that does mean is if Peace, for example, if one of the big L2s came to you and said, "Hey, bro, you wouldn't mind making a Tuesday and a Thursday slot about BitLayer, Bob, Botanics, whatever. We're going to pay you X $1,000 a month to do it." You would say yes. And now instantly, I've just stolen all the fucking Stacks users. You're muted, bro. I can't hear you. Is it just me?
Sorry, I turned I had people around being loud. I turned my volume off. I forgot. Yeah, I would absolutely. I'm not I'm not a maxi on any chain. I love Stacks, and I'm always gonna love Stacks. I'm always gonna hope Stacks wins. But there's other players. It's a decentralized land.
I'm telling you as a CMO right now. If I had a Bitcoin L2, I'd fucking pay JB. I'd pay you. I'd pay Stacksy. I'd pay GP. I'd pay all the people to fucking make content on my Bitcoin L2, and I instantly, within 2 months, I would probably have moved most of the Stacks ecosystem across to my new L2. I'm telling you now, that's my strategy. It would be coming for the content creators. And the thing is, that's a possibility for these L2s right now because you don't get fucking any love from the current chain. And people need to be aware of this.
It's already started to happen.
There we go.
It's been happening for the past 6 months. You know what I mean?
Who's gone so far? Who's gone?
It doesn't happen like in a moment. Does that make sense? It just happens slowly as people have to run their business.
Yeah, but like, I think, bro, I think people are leaving now because they're like bored of this chain. I'm talking complete. I could spend $25,000 and probably buy every content creator in Stacks.
No, like Rootstock had what, a $3 million or whatever it was, you know what I mean? So it's there. It's there.
And if you look at where the trends are going, so like if you look at Abstract Chain, which is for basically a consumer-facing project for normal people to onboard, it's actually a pretty brilliant concept. It's going to have its own product market fit in and of itself. What's a massive part of their platform at launch? Content creation in the form of streaming, incentivized content creation, right? So
Rocky told me I have to start streaming there, by the way. He told me that.
I would much rather sit here and like keep what I've everything I've put my blood, sweat, and tears into and help grow Stacks. That's all I want to do. Like that's what I want to do.
But you need to be paid. You need to be paid for that, in my opinion. Like there's a cost in you in real time. I mean, one of the lads here said, this is why I don't listen to content creators. He's listening to content creators right now. I mean, he's literally doing it. He's literally writing. You wouldn't know, bro. There'd be a fucking Thursday segment about BitLayer and you wouldn't fucking know shit. This is how the game works. And this is the reality of the game.
Yeah.
What needs to happen now as a CMO, they need to be like, right, we're going to fucking support these 6 content creators and we're going to give them the information a week before it goes live and anything else. They can get their content together. And that's going to hold people in. We need to hold the only thing Stacks has right now over every other L2 is community.
Yeah. And it's like
I think
every other L2 has more money than users.
Yep.
That's why that's what I've always told the Rubrus. I've made this perfectly clear. I'm like, guys, you got to understand the power of community, because everything that we do on Stacks, community's using that. Community's doing that. As we grow people in our own part of Stacks, you have better users. You have smarter users. You have users capable onboarding other people. You have users that can go to people who just understand the tech part, and maybe they have some understanding of business, but they don't know this. And you can literally take people and be like, no, that will work because of this reason, but it won't work because of this reason, etc., etc. Like there is value in that. But the other thing I tell Rubrus, because this is true, is like, guys, you put your talents and efforts and value into Ru, and Ru is going to return that back to you. That's how this cycle works. But your underlying foundational layer is not putting value to anybody, so the whole thing breaks apart. The whole cycle is done, right? So that's really where we're at, and it's unfortunate because, again, I don't have any ill will towards anybody, and I really do enjoy the fact that whatever I am, I earned it. I don't ask anybody for anything, but damn it to hell, like, you're leaving people no choice.
I think, and again, I have learned, I have come to enjoy friction. You guys know this, and I see a lot of people that are almost too friendly with each other. You know what I mean? Because if you're really trying to do something, you ever work with a team that really wants to get something done, you're not always just friendly with each other, right? And there's a lot of creative friction that goes into doing something big. And so sometimes I find that you have this thing where everyone knows each other and nobody wants to rock the boat because maybe they're kind of quasi kind of political friendly, right? But I'm not an OG at all. I've been here for about a year. We did the D grants, and in the past month or so, ever since doing the Stacks improvement proposal, I've kind of been risking all of the reputation I built over the past year, because it's like, if we don't say this out loud, we're actually not really community members. Does that make sense?
All right.
If we pretended that everything is fine, we'd actually be the worst type of community members on the planet. Wouldn't you agree?
But yeah,
I'll go so far as to say this, like, there's been improvement, and I'm happy with the improvement. But getting back to the beginning of the call, the stone is rolling, but it's got to continue to be pushed.
But we can say simple things like, we're kind of the only blockchain on the planet that hasn't done an AI build-a-thon. Like, you know what I mean?
The only blockchain on the planet that's CMO.
The only blockchain on the fucking planet. And how many billions of dollars do AI agents have to make before a $250 million funded organization puts 0.001% towards that which is obviously the future? And so it's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to spend words convincing people of things that are prima facie, that are self-evident. If I'm convincing people of things that are self-evident, I'm talking to the wrong people.
The thing is, I honestly, and look, I'm not giving up on Stacks at all. I'm not saying that.
Not at all.
There's a lot of people who are at this point. And I think anyone with a brain can see there's a leaky bucket now of community users. And I don't know where they're going. I honestly don't know where they're going. But when I see, and no disrespect, JB, when I see JB tweet about Solana meme coins, I'm concerned because JB's been the longest fucking hardcore Stacks fan I've ever seen, and now all of a sudden he's talking about Solana meme coins. That's a fucking red flag. Not against JB, about the ecosystem, you know, and anyone like these are core marketing sentiment analyses that should be done it in real time. I mean, this is like the crux of it.
I'm gonna build on that. Like, I know the risk of Solana meme coins, and in order for me to do what I want to do, I have to trade to make money. So I have to make money happen because I don't draw a salary from anybody. So if you're seeing me tweet about Solana meme coins, it's because that's the only fucking place you can do anything relative. There's other ones, base. You know, you can do these other things.
No, I'm not shitting, JB. I'm not shitting on you for fucking making a living, bro. It's more that you're so bullish on Stacks, and for the first time in my entire life, I've seen you bullish on something else.
Right, 100%.
You know, I don't think you'd have tweeted anything bullish about any other fucking chain until 6 months ago.
Right. No, it's 100% because
and that should be like fucking. I'm in a marketing strategy meeting, and it's like, who are our key fucking opinion leaders in this ecosystem? You would be one of them, JB. It would be fucking Jack Bin Switch, and it would say, right, what's the fucking sentiment of JB? Started tweeting about fucking Solana. Right, okay, fuck. We need to go and call JB because we need to. There's fucking like 12 of us. We're not talking about 150,000 users here, right? We fucking call people. You get on a fucking phone call with JB and you go, JB, what's going on? And then Jay will go, he'll be like, okay, Pete, basically what's happened is I'm just seeing no growth here, no communication. It's a bit worrying for me. And you go, okay, what would solve it? And you go, actually, I think funding some community organizations would make sense. And you go, fucking, how much is it going to cost me? $5,000, fucking done. That's how the call would happen if I was fucking doing it, you know? And it's a concern that I don't think has been actually spotted by anybody, which is a bigger concern.
Do you think? I'll ask you this, right? Because I may be the least to lose here, so maybe I can ask the questions.
Oh, bro, I didn't give a fuck. I just talk.
But like, if I'm just saying this, like, I'm Canadian. They don't allow cryptocurrencies like they do in other countries, right? So so it's like, I probably have least skin in the game as everyone here, so maybe I can ask things. Do they really want you guys involved in their reindeer games?
Right.
Sorry to ask.
That's you get to the end of your thought experiment, and that's one of the questions that you just don't know the answer to, right? It's kind of like with politicians. Like you look at politics and you're like, okay, are these people fucking idiots, or are their values just nowhere near?
They already have existing relationships that are going to, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen that before. One of the reasons I actually went away from Web 2 is I found that I wanted to get away from structures that had already allocated their capital without saying it publicly. You know what I mean? When the capital's already allocated, but they're going through the motions, and I wanted to get away from that. And so that's the reason I asked. Sometimes when you come into an environment, all of the decisions have already been made. They just have to be seen to be making these decisions in public. Right. Just throwing that out there. It just seems that all of the decisions are already made. And again, I have the least to lose because I probably have the least amount of assets of all the people in this space with regard to Stacks, which is, if we look at not what they say, but how they act, given how things have happened, unless we're vocal about these things, then we should expect them to continue acting in the same way. Is that fair?
Yes.
No, it's completely logical, actually. That's just good logic. And
like, to be honest, I think people are realizing this, brother. Like, that's why some people are now so frustrated, because it's like assuming your girlfriend was cheating on you and then kind of seeing her like kiss a guy behind the corner, and you're like, I thought she was cheating on me, and then I saw her kiss a guy, which means he's probably cheating on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like that's the analogy that I think is best to use. It's like you've assumed something and you've kind of like peeked around the corner and you've like, it's kind of happening, but like, do I want to know?
You know what's crazy though? That we were introduced to Stacks by Rocky, and I'm like, yeah, duh. You guys want to finally turn $1.4 trillion of what might be dead capital into cash capital, collateral, and credit? That sounds like a great idea. And so far, the political, legal, and regulatory system has fallen into our lap, hasn't it? In terms of regulation, everything that Stacks could have ever wanted in regulation has happened. It just, the Nakamoto release, they kind of threw it on the ground. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. From a release
Totally.
perspective, they were like,
Stepped
we have
on
this
it.
great diamond.
Into the gutter.
Right? And Steve Jobs talked about this, not to bring up the old kind of stories, but like there's a time for Wozniak and a time for Steve Jobs. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it was the release of product, not just the quality of product. It's almost like the release reflected the quality of the product. And I think sometimes we're just like, especially with Nakamoto, which is actually big, and like SBTC, which is huge, especially for AI agents. We kind of just like throwing this thing on the ground. I mean, like, hey guys, welcome to your meal.
Right, and you
So
see,
I got a
question.
I got a question for Jay. I mean, you boys might answer this better than JB. I don't know, but like, I've obviously been speaking to a lot of people with liquid funds that want to deploy capital into things like perp dexes, and you mentioned SBTC and you explain the benefits of SBTC and stuff, and then the counter is always, how is that different to TBTC?
Right.
I don't know the answer to that question genuinely, but from what I've been told, it's basically the same thing.
What is TBTC? I don't know what TBTC is.
That's the Tron BTC, right?
No, I don't know. I don't think it is. That's the point.
When I looked recently, I saw TGBTC.
Put it in the private chat now.
TGBTC is, from what I can tell, Bitcoin as a Telegram's layer 2 for Bitcoin. Telegram allowing Bitcoin to be transacted through Telegram. And when I saw TGBTC and I sent it to the guys, I'm like, does it look familiar? Right? So the market is not going to wait for us to just get our shit together. You know what I mean? The market moves, and these windows of opportunity, they don't wait for us to tie our shoes.
No.
My understanding is it's basically the same.
It looks, peripherally, it looks like it, right?
And let me say the challenger sales model. In a world where your product, brand, and service are the same as everyone else's, it's only your sales process that differentiates you, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, in this case with a chain, all the protocols that are here, all the community, all the builders, right? And if you've got communities leaving, protocols not building, you lose. Like,
community is the distributed sales channel in this market. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, 100%. And so you can sit here and you can make just absolute champions of community members, because we've done it with nothing. We've been doing it with nothing. Imagine if somebody gave a shit, right?
Yeah, bro.
Imagine if somebody gave a shit. Like that's the impression that nobody wants to have. I know
exactly. If I was CEO, I know exactly the plays that I'd be making right now, and I'm not even seeing a sniff of it. I know exactly the plays I'm making, 100%. It's the most obvious plays of all fucking time. It's pretty much right in their face, and I just don't see them. They're not going to do it, I don't think.
Well, that said, I am. We did the first prototype for the Trust Lines wallet last night, and we have the $25,000 build-a-thon. So I'm going to be playing for that. So it's not all doom and
gloom. The build-a-thon, the biddle battle.
Yes, exactly.
How's that working? What is it? $25,000 up for grabs for everybody, or how's it work?
Yeah, I think what they're doing is they're kind of doing what other chains have done with $5 million and doing it with 25,000.
Fuck off! So wait, one person gets 25 grand,
or it might be cumulative prizes. But
yeah,
here's the thing. I'm not gonna sit here and bitch. I'm gonna offer solutions. Okay, so let's assume that our worst fears are true. Okay. Let's assume that what we're saying is the facts, and God, I hope they're not. You know how you fix that? Here's another thing that's just so obvious.
You leave your cheating girlfriend,
Or you just create a micro investment strategy for regular people to be able to build protocols. You release it as an app, and now you're offering a more mature crypto asset to retail. Period. So if I need $250,000 to start my endeavor because I need employees and shit, and I sell 1,000 tokens worth $250 a piece to do that, and say, look, we're going to assume we'll be profitable after a year. And then you can unlock, and if you want to hold whatever, fine. You can do that. Like there's that's a model waiting to be built. Okay.
Yeah. If I was CMO of the chain, I would match fund to the community.
Right. Like that's
it's like the most obvious thing to do, isn't it? We don't have to. You don't have to be the first money in. I have a community. Let me build a coalition of the willing, generate consensus on my side. Here's all the money that I have. Willing to do half, like
right.
Yeah, and then you have something that's like be exclusive to our chain for 12 months or some bullshit. Like these are all things that you can easily do.
Right.
I don't know, man. It's just kind of frustrating. Like I said, I love everyone there. I work with them obviously on a deep level, and it's I don't understand the political links of it all. And they say I'm decentralized and this. I don't fucking care. But the reality is, it's just not working right now. And I think that I will honestly say, when we didn't get a retweet for the return to BTC from Stacks and from Manib, I thought to myself, why wouldn't they do that? There's 15 protocols that have come together for the goodness of the community, fundraised by the community, may I get this straight, with their own fucking money. It's the most obvious thing for a CEO to retweet. It's the most obvious thing for Stacks to retweet. Unity in the chain. Didn't get a retweet, and I thought, okay, cool. Zoom out. If I was CEO, why wouldn't I retweet this? Am I embarrassed? Don't know. All I can think about is am I embarrassed? Because there's no other reason why I wouldn't retweet that. And do you know what? You can say he didn't see it. He fucking did, because he wrote in Telegram, GM, and I replied and said, pump this Manib with the fucking link.
No.
I don't know, man.
There's solutions, and as a community, there's ways to do this, right? But at the end of the day, like, what's it take to get there? How, if you're saying, okay, we're a small community, there's only so much liquidity, there's only so many new people coming in. I pay attention to metrics all day long. I wake up, I go to sleep thinking about crypto. I wake up first thing in the morning thinking about crypto. I get to work all day long trying to bring awareness to whatever I can on spaces, do this, do that. Great. I see fewer and fewer people. I see less and less liquidity. I see all of these things. So why not just take the things that I want to build, right? That I want to build. Why do that here? So if I'm sitting here as someone super bullish on Stacks, how do you convince people who want to build things to come in and do it when there's no liquidity, there's no way to raise money without giving half, 40%, whatever, all your creativity, and having to listen to some asshole who don't know half of what you forgot about regarding this space? Like, how do we do it? How do we make that happen? Is it worth making it happen? I don't know.
Velar spent something like 1.4 million, 1.5 million building in Stacks right now.
Yeah.
Just giving a rough thing. I mean, we got some comments. What do you want from Stacks? I want them to at least look like they give a shit, to put it bluntly. Actually come up with some sort of strategy. Probably hire a CMO of some form who has some understanding of what he's doing. And yeah, of course, I want to fucking interact with the protocols that have invested $1.5 million into his chain. There's literally 10 of us. He should know every single person in my team's name. He just should. He's got 10 projects to keep an eye on. If he thinks he's too good to keep interacting with 10, I've never even fucking spoke to the man. I'm a CMO of one of the biggest protocols. So that's all I want. And I am frustrated, bro. Of course I'm frustrated.
Yeah, like there's ways to do this, but it's nut cutting time, like my dad used to say. Like, that's where we're at. It's nut cutting.
Bro, I don't know who this guy is, but I appreciate your questions. The reality is, bro, is no one has to be here. And this is a concern that everybody should have, especially if you're a holder of the Stacks token. Nobody has to be here. So either we fix it and people stay, or it doesn't get fixed and people leave. And I'm personally, I've committed significant time for the last 4 years in this ecosystem, significant money over the last 4 years in this ecosystem. And I'm now doing both at the same fucking time in this ecosystem. And I feel like we're pushing as hard as we can. And in some cases, we're actually pushing harder than the people who get paid probably 7 figs to do the same thing. I agree. He said, I would simply leave. I mean, literally.
Yeah.
I would absolutely, bro. That's exactly what's happening. I'll be honest with you.
She's a very awesome community member with the Bitcoin Pepe crew. And she's super smart. She actually very supportive of our show too. And she brings a great perspective. So her questions are always super
great
valid.
questions. Great questions.
And
Sorry,
it is. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because we see the potential for it to be much better than it is.
Like I say all of this, and I made the Trust Wallets demo last night. You know what I mean? Like it's already there. And because money doesn't make sense anymore, what's $1,000 over here is $1 million over there. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Nothing matters anymore. Everything is untethered from reality. And so as I put that together, it's there now. And I'm going to do it anyways because I believe that Stacks is in a position to fucking unlock that $1.4 trillion.
All right.
Can we start pretending like it's 1.4 trillion and not $10,400?
That's quite I've ever fucking heard, mate.
Michael, you're gonna be on the SIP call with that today.
Yeah. Well, can I share my screen for a sec? I'm not sure if you saw it before, so it's not complicated, right? I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm looking at the paradigms that exist with other organisms that have onboarded billions of dollars and saying, hey, are there any deltas with Stacks that we could do? So I got tagged by Algorithm after I posted this thing up here, trust lines, blah, blah, blah. I wrote this up, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if this goes through. It's more about the exercise of it, right? And so when I saw that he said, hey, we should do this because I saw the thing from Ryder, I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop being professional because why do it anymore? I'm like, hey, motherfuckers, we're doing this shit. It doesn't matter what you think because we've already talked to people who want it. Does that make sense? So I really don't care.
That's the best line. I didn't come to Web3 to at Web2.
Yeah,
of
course.
I'm going to steal that shit, bro.
But like, this is what I felt it was like. This. Look at her dancing here. I am not going to fucking dance. I danced in my, you know what I mean?
Come on.
The time for dancing is over, right? And so I just created the thing, was 7 prompts. 7 fucking prompts. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't rocket science. What is this? V0, bolt.new. It's not hard, right? You just have to understand a few words that have been around for a little while. So it's already here, right? I don't need no.
I haven't seen this before, bro. Is this on Stacks, yeah?
It might be.
From XRP, actually.
No, it's just one of those ideas. I proposed the idea of trust lines between wallets so we can keep shit out of wallet because that's how exchanges are managed on XRP. I could tell you about it, I'll share the links, whatever. But the main idea is I'm doing all this stuff because there's trillions of dollars at stake. That's all. Right?
Yeah,
and I think if we just treated it like that, then everything would follow. Because one thing I'm not interested in is convincing people of things I believe that are self-evident. Because if I'm spending a lot of time trying to convince you of that which is self-evident, we're not going to be able to move. You know what I mean? I'm just going to be stuck in giving you definitions the entire time, and we're not going to make decisions.
Right.
But what do I know? Just an H1B,
H1B.
What Mike's been working on is really about utilizing AI in the SIP creation process. And this was just something he could bring to Stacks and use as a model for that. So we're working on, we have the SIP call every
AI could do.
Friday with Hero, which is actually, I think, one of the bigger value add potential situations, because it's about improving stacks, it's about what's being built, it's about informing the community, and also giving a place for community feedback. So I really think that kind of thing is really what we need.
That was actually useful. That
from
led
the
to
bottom
this.
up. From the bottom up, what we can do, the solutions we can work on is fostering more community engagement and more ideation out of the community.
I will say this. I think it was Eliza's CEO. I know we're not supposed to talk about the S word. Eliza's CEO said that DeepSeek just proved to the world that a small team of cracked motherfuckers can complete with anyone on the planet if you simply allow them.
PsyOp.
And that's
it's not actually capable of doing all that they're saying.
That's the most China PsyOp thing ever. Like, if I was in charge of PsyOps in China, I'd be like, send $100 billion on making this AI and just say we did it for $5 million.
Like, I believe that I know teams in America that are going to be able to do the things like that DeepSeek did. Does that make sense? Make their own things, right? So that if there was a time to bet on the small team of exponential organizations, isn't now the time to bet on the little guy of all the time?
It should be anyway. Like, if you have 100 little guys building, you'll get 3 killer products. It's how Pump.Fun came out. These are just fucking random people building random shit, and then one pops off. But this question, I can't remember the lady's name now, but if I was spending money and I wasn't satisfied, I would leave and build somewhere else. This is exactly what's going to happen. Like, this is like my point. I don't want this to happen. Like, this is like it, and absolutely nail on the head. If Stacks continues this route, I guarantee every single project will leave. Every single one. Every single one. You'll have nothing exclusive to Stacks anymore. We'll be on Stacks, but you'll be all your volume, all your marketing, all your attention will be elsewhere.
Look, we're gonna create what's happening. Jax. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, like I'm telling you now. And I'll tell you this: if JB created a Stacks L2 tomorrow, I'd fucking move.
Fucking done. Because you know what? I believe in Jack's spirit, and I will follow Jack's spirit over all the technology on the fucking planet.
You've got the most calm voice in the world, by the way, bro.
To speak to your point, Mike, about small crack teams being able to move the needle, that is the fundamental issue with Stacks right now. Is we were the premier Bitcoin L2. We had everything lined up to go our way, and we have so many competitors nipping at our heels that it's fucked if something doesn't change. That is the underlying cause for alarm. And unless there's a contingency plan that does not include everybody who has tried very hard to make this successful, this is all vain. All of this has been for nothing. And that is so frustrating. I could throw my computer through my fucking wall right now. Like, that's just where I'm at. I'll be the yin to your yang. I'll be the fucking, you got the columns in, I am ready to run through a fucking wall. It's so obvious.
I will say this, I kind of like where we're at though. Even though we're kind of down bad, if you guys are thinking the same thing I'm thinking, does that make sense? We actually don't need anyone to agree with us anymore. Congratulations, everyone.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know the moves, honestly, boys. I don't know the moves. I'm just a guy with a bag that's big. I'm a guy with a bag that's too big. That's all I am.
It's happening right now because here's the thing. None of us are going to pause our business operations waiting for a solution provider. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All of us are going to move forward. So I'm actually more encouraged today after our talk today because I know that the people in this room are going to be successful. And they are going to partner with those solution providers that meet service level agreements. That's all. All this stuff, it's just a vendor to me that has service level agreements. And if you can satisfy those, great. And if you can't, I am going to have to pick someone else that can achieve 5 nines of availability. This is just like, you know what I mean? But I don't know. What do I know?
Yeah, I think, Mike, I think people are too loyal. There's the reality. People are too loyal, and you're right. Like, if you think that the service you aren't getting is right, I mean, this is absolutely spot on. You leave.
It's another vendor. Honestly, if I'm treated like this, I'm going to treat them as another vendor.
Yep, nail on the head, mate.
So
Part of it is that people are loyal because they're loyal to their bags too.
Yeah,
Well,
bro, I've got
I'm
too much.
kinda
I've
loyal
got
to
too much.
you
we're
guys.
loyal to each other.
I'm not
Also,
loyal to technology. I'm loyal to people.
I'm loyal to y'all, right? Like
Right,
this
of
is
course.
there's a deeper thing here. But here's the reality. Aside from Peter, who else like actually trades? Like just trades pretty often.
Not often. I
Okay.
do, but I just don't have enough time to put into it. And I'm learning. I do sometimes. Like I've played around with the Levana perp decks on
But
Cosmos.
you've traded. So when you're trading, you get to a point in a trade where you're like, oh shit, am I suffering from a sunken cost fallacy here?
Mm.
At the very least, is it time to minimize exposure?
You're worrying about Stockholm syndrome. Yeah.
And I'm not talking about like financial here in this aspect. I'm talking about talent and time and labor wise. Like, is it time to minimize exposure? Is it like at the very least? If I'm just talking about bags, I don't give a shit about any of my bags because you know what? This market provides endless opportunity, right? Like I don't have that. Like I will sit here and make it all back every single time. I've been doing it for 8 years now, right? But like in terms of time, effort, commitment, loyalty, all of these things, is it time to minimize exposure? I can't escape that. I cannot escape that. If this was an actual physical token trade, I'd be like, fuck, yes. Why is that a thing at this juncture? And what can be done to address it? And
it's because it's fucking obvious. Obviously, the right play is a Bitcoin L2 with a Nakamoto and SBTC. Obviously, this is the right fucking play. But no one's been fucking wrong here. This is obviously the move. This is obviously the fucking bet of our lives. Of course, it fucking is. But like, you still need an executor and a killer to fucking drive it home. And we are powerless. Like even us as like CMOs, CEOs, whatever of protocols. I can only push so far before I get off the fucking train and getting another train and jump on that one. But you go against your fucking moral compass, which is this is the right fucking move. This is the right fucking move.
Yeah. And that's been it the whole time. And you've had a fantastic, strong, literally unparalleled community grow in this space. So you see that paired with it being the right move, you know, technologically and the direction it's headed, and you're like, okay, this is definitely the right move. This is beyond the right move. This is a gem. This is like a unicorn level move, and it's like, nah, let's.
So there's a concept in investing. I've done quite a lot of investing. I mean, I personally this cycle of probably invested $500,000 in pre-seed, so before tokens launched, probably done $500,000, and then obviously in my fund in the UK, we bought companies and everything. Our rule has always been that you're not investing in the idea. Everyone has fucking ideas. You're investing in the killers, right? And my question is, maybe we invested in the wrong killer.
Well,
better question. Sorry, Mike. Who is the fucking killer?
A sword is not the same sword in two different hands.
That's true. So we just need to find the right champion, maybe.
Well, I'll tell you now. Follow the fuck where we go. Just follow where we go. I'll find the way. The Stacks perp decks is crucial for Stacks. If that doesn't go where it needs to go, deeply bearish. We'll start offloading my bags. I'm unrealized 6 figures down as we currently see. I'll be unloading my bags at a fucking loss because I'll say this to the boys. Technology is now leapfrogging Stacks. I don't know if you not know, there's actually new tech coming out, L1 smart contracts, some BRC20 version 2 things coming out, all leapfrogging tech because we didn't execute well enough or fast enough. Well,
yeah, because so everyone here has been here long enough to remember when Stacks mirrored moves on Bitcoin on the chart.
Yeah, that's why we all bought it, bro.
And that stopped. Why'd that stop? Well, because smart money moves the charts more than we care to appreciate, right? And smart money's like, well, shit, this was the biggest game in town, but like, you if you're running an Atari 2600 and someone's about to release a PS5, guess what? Like, you're not the biggest game in town anymore. And like, every moment that's wasted on missing opportunities is just catastrophic at this point, because everything is leapfrogging. That's correct.
So what you're saying is they should have been doing the AI build-a-thon as they were doing Nakamoto. That should have been happening.
This goes way back at this point now. This goes back to like you were when was it launched? 2018? I can't remember. Like, there should have been a $100 million fucking funding program just to build shit. Like, we shouldn't be Someone did a message to me the other day saying, as a new ecosystem. I'm like, bro, this is not fucking new. It's not fucking new. Like, this is not new. This is not a new ecosystem we're trying to kickstart.
$250 million after this shit.
Yeah, it's $2 billion project that has been going for over 5 years that still doesn't have native stablecoins, right? And still only has 10 fucking protocols.
Right. Like,
failure at this point.
Man, you give a handful of H-1Bs $10,000 and you'll replicate the whole fucking thing.
Bro, I mean, Mythos says this shit to me all the time. It's like, bro, half of fucking India could build this shit out.
Yep.
So this is the problem, right? This is the problem, because I think there is a way out of it.
Shut up! I'm trying to run an organization.
No, they're fucking insane, bro. It's the biggest, but this is the thing. Maybe Manip made hundreds of millions of dollars. Fair play to the guy, right? But to miss out on what is essentially one of the greatest things you could create ever for mankind because you didn't execute properly, embarrassing.
Come on. We're right there. I think if we're frustrated for any reason, it's like regulations. The U.S. government basically handed us a meal on a platter, and we're like just throwing it on the ground. That's essential. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of how we're actually executing, everything has happened. The hardest thing to move in the world is a political, legal, and regulatory environment. And it actually fucking did move. You know what I mean? This is the first time it's happening in fucking 64 years, ostensibly. And with all the time we had to prepare for it, here's where we are. But I think because we're having this conversation and I see the chat, we all have businesses, and our businesses are going to have customers that require us to deliver functionality. Whatever way it is for us to deliver that functionality, I'm really not going to sacrifice a deliverable for my client because I really want a technology to work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I look at Trippin's latest thing. This feels like bottom of bear market conversation. It does, and Bitcoin's 100K. So that isn't aligning, bro. Like, if we were at fucking... If you were at 16K Bitcoin, then I'd be like, yeah, for sure.
The whole point of stacks is to unlock the power of $100,000 Bitcoin, is it not?
Yeah.
Right.
This is what I'm saying. If Bitcoin was 16K and we're having this conversation, I'd be like, boys, it's fucking bear market. We keep building, we keep fucking pushing on. It will come good. It will come good. They should be good now. You've had 4 fucking years to build this shit.
Right.
Look, I'm in Toronto, where there is a fair amount of capital, right? And they talk to me all the time, and they look at stacks and be like, you know, it's nice. I just don't see the culture, right? Because they're onboarding millennials and Gen Z. Phantom Wallet ostensibly won, and that's why Trump had to choose it, right? That's why he chose it. Hey, Trump, I want to release a meme coin. Well, what's in everyone's wallet? Well, I guess it's Phantom, right? And that's on everyone and a part of this community. You know what I mean? And so I think we have a great opportunity here. I know personally, I'm going to make sure that we take advantage of it, however it happens, right? And I hope they pick up the ball, but if not, I'm not going to put it in their hand. Does that make sense? And help them walk with it.
Does anyone know the story behind GM Chong? And it looks like he's left D-Spread. Does anyone know about this?
No.
GM Chong, I'm going to put his Like, this is super bearish signal, actually, if he's actually left. This is very quiet as well, if this was the case. And this would also, he definitely had big bags. I'm going to put in the private chat. It says free trader, OG contributor, Sol stacked previous D-spread. He was the CEO of D-spread, I'm pretty sure. And D-spread was huge in stacks. It basically had the Korean market for stacks. That's why stacks did so well, because it was linked to the Korean community loves stacks. Stacks was the highest volume traded token on the Korean centralized exchanges. That's how big Korea was for stacks. And it looks like, yeah, he's now left D-spread. I don't know the reason why. And now Sol has just appeared in his fucking bio for the first time ever, because it wasn't there before.
I will say this to end. Troy in our weakness stands. You ever heard that?
No.
The Greeks were all sitting around the table saying, hey, why the fuck can't we beat Troy? Ulysses, the smartest of the Greeks, says, it's not what they're doing. It's what we're not doing. Troy in our weakness stands. If we want to know why this isn't happening, it's because it's on us, not on anyone else.
No, I can categorically tell you this is not on anyone from the community. This is on 100% the foundation.
Yeah, but it's up to us. But it's up to us to make that decision about what to do next. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wait for someone to. There's only so much patience you can have with a candidate that you want to get a job. You know what I mean? And if they're not ready for it, what are you going to do? You have to move on to another candidate. But I'm just a headhunter.
Boys, we started with raw milk and we started with poison the water supply, and now we've ended on a philosophical quote.
Well, I thought we're launching Jax, right? Is that what we decided?
I'd fund it.
I'm with Jax.
I'd fund it. I guarantee
L2.
I guarantee he'd raise $2 million.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, we. I don't know. This is a conversation.
Jack.
There's a lot going on, and we need more from the foundation and trust machines, and that's really what it boils down to.
I don't think we need anything more from them. Hold on. I don't think we need anything more. Hey, in the chat, if Jack was to launch Jax, right, with DeepSeek and a couple of Mac Minis, how long before you think DeepSeek creates its own L2?
I don't think they create an L2 anymore. I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, if Jax wanted to do Jax and this whole trust lines things, this is what I would. Okay, let me pitch Jax right now instead of pitching the Bitcoin people because they're at the fucking lunch. All right, so Jack, this is what I'm pitching you. Remember the trust lines idea? All right, Here it is. So look at what I can do. I can send funds to people, and I can create a trust line with people and put a limit, and then that's all you have to do. This was 7 prompts. Doesn't take very long. There's your trust lines, there's your history, and there's your settings. Jax, you want to do this on Jax trust lines so we can actually run exchanges, AMMs, order books the way the big boys do it?
Right, let's fucking do it. That's infrastructure.
Done.
Do you know what I've also found really fascinating is that deals take too long to get done in this ecosystem as well. I saw Resh in the group chat. Resh finds it so funny when I go on a business call with him, because I get a business deal done in 25 minutes because everyone takes too fucking long backwards and forwards. I literally go on calls and like Xverse swap function. We were the first people to do an Xverse swap function. I messaged Jan. I said, let's go on a call. I got on the call. I said, Jan, I want to be able to click swap on Xverse and swap with Xverse. He went, cool. I said, this is the split. You win and I win. And he went, okay. And that was it. Done. Like, this is how quick deals should happen. Just get the fucking deal done. Make him win. Make you win.
You know? There's actually not really much to talk about. No. See this thing? Yeah? Here, let me go to fucking bolt.new for all of 5 seconds. And then here it is. Yeah, that's good. Okay, done. There's nothing.
The problem I've noticed in Web3 is like no one wants each other to win. They in a deal.
Aha.
That's the problem. So like, I just think I'm like, if you want to win 62% and I win 38%, fuck it. I'll take the 38 and get the deal done. That's how I work.
That perspective on having everyone win is what prevents the true power of community to unlock, because a lot of people are still thinking that they're going to be the one CEO that owns 98% of this company and have the peasants do the 2%, right? That paradigm is not going to work anymore.
No transaction happens unless both parties see themselves as winning.
Unless coercion happens.
Right.
Yeah, if I start talking good things about stacks, know that I've been compromised.
Well, use cases. Hey, great show, guys. This is the best show we've ever done.
This has been a great show. I don't mind running on a little bit longer, but it's like 20 minutes to 11.
No, we're good.
All coming on in 20
minutes.
Pete, it's been great having you on. This has been an awesome conversation. Jack, as always. GP, we didn't get a lot out of you today, but always love having you. And Michael, same as you, as well. It's been great. We'll have to do this more often. Get a little bit more of these.
This is the monthly purge. There's purges like every year in that movie. We can do it once a month where we like score first.
I got a message from one of the boys saying, they literally said to me, they went, "Bro, you're going to end up on some Stacks whale hit list." So I don't know if I can do more of these, honestly. I'm really getting dead.
No, man, we just need to chop this up and
Stacks whales have better things to do with their time than worry about the people that are trying to
sell on our fucking heads. That's what they got to do.
Yeah.
I like it.
It sounds like so what I've gotten from this conversation is that the big wigs up top need to double down. If they really believe that this is the best technology, they really need to double down and invest in the indie builders and different protocols that are in this ecosystem and really start to show some support. It sounds like
I don't think so.
Crossroads is right there. People are boundaries.
I think Stacks is doing perfectly fine.
It's a matter of aligned interest, possibly, and that's there might not be an alignment.
We have to let people make their own decisions.
Right.
He's basically saying if they want to fuck it up, let them fuck it up. Just leave. He's basically what he's saying.
It's their look. They have more to make. If they've decided, we have to take their decisions as their word.
I think the reality. So if I was leading the ship, I would be delegating more decision mentality with different team members. I think at the moment the decision, if I have a thought, let's say I'm marketing or something, and if I have a thought, I've got to get this person's permission, who has to get this person's permission, who has to get this. So in the end, it takes like fucking 2 months to get anything done on any innovation. So there needs to be a change in the sign-off process, probably. There needs to be funding program created for people to be able to tap into it. You need to lock in the content creators to make content for it.
Here's the thing. I only trust the funding if it's in your guys' hands. I don't trust, you know what I mean? Like, I like the spirit with which you guys evaluate stuff. So it's not just the funding. I need to be confident that I would rather have you guys manage the funds, to be honest with you, because you actually know what's happening.
You can easily create a DAO. You can easily create some form of DAO.
Well, funny you mentioned that. We do media, right? Aren't you off the fucking bonding curve for the DAO?
Oh yeah, and for the record, I didn't initiate that DAO. The AIBTC dev account.
Or the keys.
I had nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. I love it. I'm so
96% of the supply.
That's exactly what a whale would say. Peace.
I bought 20.
Isn't that what Manib says about fucking it's decentralized? Decentralized.
Hey,
listen, that DAO was not created by us. I can't wait to see what it does. I don't know how it's supposed to support us really, but it's an interesting development.
Oi, boys, if Veloperp doesn't get 10 million in liquidity, just notice from this fucking video call, honestly.
Look, if there's $25,000 in that DAO, we have as much as all of the Stacks build-a-thon that's coming up.
That's nuts. I don't know how much is in the DAO, actually. I woke up to that happen. It all happened. I had nothing to do. I was sleeping while it made out a bonding curve. I had nothing to do with it. I wish I did.
I'm gonna make sure I don't tell my team that we talked about this today. I'm just gonna. Usually I send them like the clips of like, hey, we did the show today. Today's show. I'm not gonna tell them.
Why not? This is one of the
Never
best shows.
happened. This never happened.
What
Next time I'm
happened?
gonna come on anonymous, I'll be called something else.
Never what happened.
All right, I really do got to
Great
wrap.
show.
Like 18
This was
minutes.
the ultimate deorganized media of all time. You know, if we're not doing this, we're not really disorganized. Wouldn't you agree?
Deorganized. We're not disorganized. Well,
I am.
the name. Anyway.
You can be productively disorganized, chaotic engineering.
That's all I know. You guys, I really had nothing to do with that DAO creation. I didn't. I just didn't.
Wait, the lady doth protest too much.
Yeah,
I
you're
didn't cheat. I didn't cheat.
you're like the guy from Joker who shoots all of his accomplices.
I was I promise.
I would never.
I've
All
seen
right.
this movie before.
Thank you guys all. This has been awesome. A great conversation. Peter, thank you for joining us. I'm glad we finally got you on here. Although we did have you for Staxy's anniversary. That was your first appearance on DeOrganized. Jack, love it. Every Friday coming in. GP, Clutch co-host. And Michael, you bring a great perspective. All the people that joined in the chat today. It has been great. Thank you all for participating. I am PeaceLoveMusic. We are DeOrganized Media coming at you live on Decentralized Broadcasting. It's Friday. Finish the day strong. Go touch some grass and get some ass over the weekend and relax. And we'll see you later. Peace out.